Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. So we are starting the chapter of stars and the solar system, and in this video we are going to start with the topic of stars. We are going to learn all about stars and constellation. So let's begin. Have you ever seen stars in the night sky? Must have definitely observed the night sky, and you must have definitely seen the stars twinkling, but you may have not seen it so bright because we live in big cities, and due to the excess usage of light nowadays, we are not able to see the stars twinkling. That means they are not as bright. But if you go to a village area, if you're living in a village, or if you go in a dense forest, you will definitely observe that the stars are considerably brighter, right? So the answer to this would be yes, right? So let's continue. Are all the stars equally bright? Are they of the same color? No, right? All the stars are not equally bright. Some stars may appear more bright than the others. Correct? So let's continue. Stars emit their own light. The sun is also a star. Did you know that the sun is also a star? Sun appears so large compared to the other stars because the stars are millions of times farther away than the sun. Therefore, the sun appears to us like points. The next nearest star is Proxima Centauri. It is at a distance of these many kilometers from the Earth. This also means that it is 4 light years away from the Earth. So, what is a light year? Large distances are expressed in another unit known as the light year. It is the distance traveled by the light in 1 year. So, 1 light year is nothing but the distance traveled by the light in 1 year. Speed of the light is 300,000 kilometers per second. Thus, the distance of the sun from the earth may be said to be 8 light minutes. The distance of Alpha Centauri is about 4.3 light years. That means imagine a light will take 4.3 light years to travel. So that means imagine how far it must be. Correct? Now, we have a wonder that if light from the stars take years to reach us, then do we wonder that we must be looking at the past when we look at the stars? Think. Why do we not see the stars during the day? The stars are present in the sky during the daytime also. So the stars are always present. However, they are not visible then because of the bright sunlight. In the daytime, there is always a bright sunlight present. So because of the bright sunlight, then the stars aren't visible. Correct? Now let's perform an activity. What do? You observe the night sky for about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, on one night. What will you observe here is that there must be a movement in the stars. The stars appear to move from east the sky to west. A star which rises in the east in the evening sets in the west in the early morning. Right? Now, why do stars appear to move from east to west? Why are the stars, when we observe it, moving from east to west? If the stars appear to move from east to west, it means that the earth rotates from west to east. Correct? So, if the earth is rotating from west to east, the stars must be moving from east to west. Because stars are stationary at their position, that's why the sun appears to rise in the east and set in the west as the earth rotates from west to east on its axis. So what happens here? If the stars appear to move from east to west, it means that the earth rotates from west to east. Stars are always stationary at their position. It is the earth which rotates from west. It is the earth which rotates from west to east. That's why the stars appear to move from east to west. Correct? Now let's perform this activity to understand the pole star. What do? You take an umbrella and take some 10 to 15 cutouts of white paper. You can cut it out as a star shape. Now you put one star, or you can stick or something on the rod of the umbrella, and you put all the other stars on the cloth where it ends. Now, if you start rotating the umbrella, what you will observe is that all stars appear to move except one which is located at the central rod of umbrella. Pole star is similar to this. It is present at the axis of rotation of the earth. Correct? Now we'll start with constellations. Let's have a look. Can you see some stars in the sky forming groups with some shapes? Yes, if you observe carefully in the night sky, you will observe that there are some groups of stars which are making some particular patterns or a shape. Right? So, yes. What are constellations? The stars forming a group which has a recognizable shape is called a constellation. Constellations are devised by ancient people to be able to recognize stars in the sky. The shapes of the constellations resemble objects familiar to those people. Right? Now, Ursa Major. This is a kind of a very famous constellation. So, the most famous constellations which can be seen during summertime in the early part of the night is Ursa Major. It is also known as the Big Dipper, the Great Bear, or the Saptarishi. There are 7 prominent stars in this constellation. It appears like a big ladle or a question mark, as you can see in this image. There are 3 stars in the handle of the ladle and the 4 in its ball. Here you can see there are 3 stars in the handle of the ladle and 4 in its ball. Correct? Now let's look at this fun fact. Saptarishi or Ursa Major has been associated with 7 well-known ancient Indian sages. According to ancient mythology, the 7 sages who formed the Saptarishi preserve the eternal knowledge of Vedas and explain it to the people in every new age. Here you can see in this image. Correct? Now, how do you locate the pole star? You perform this activity, but you take care that you perform this activity on a clear moonless night during summer at about 9 p.m. So what do? You locate the Ursa Major and observe it for 2 to 3 hours. Here you see that the 2 N stars of the Ursa Major, and you imagine that there is an imaginary line running through these 2 stars. Now if you extend this imaginary line, you will observe that this line which you extended will lead to a star which is not too bright and it does not move at all as other stars drift from east to west. So this will be the pole star. Correct? Now you will also observe while performing this particular activity is that Ursa Major appear to move from east to west around the pole star. So we can say that all stars appear to revolve except the pole star. Correct? Now, did you know that the pole star is not visible from the southern hemisphere? Some of the northern constellations like Ursa Major may also not be visible from some points in the southern hemisphere. So the pole star is only visible from the northern hemisphere, correct? Now Orion. Orion is another type of constellation which looks like this. Orion is another well-known constellation that can be seen during winter. Ursa Major can be seen during summer and Orion is seen during winter in the late evenings. It is one of the most magnificent constellations in the sky. It also has 7 or 8 bright stars. There are 7 or 8 bright stars present in Orion. Orion is also called the Hunter. The 3 middle stars represent the belt of the Hunter. The 4 bright stars appear to be arranged in the form of a quadrilateral. Here you can see the belt and the quadrilateral. Correct? How to locate the Sirius star with the help of Orion? The star Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky, is located close to the Orion. To locate the Sirius, imagine a straight line passing through the 3 middle stars of the Orion. Here you can see. Imagine an imaginary line passing through these 3 stars, correct? Look along this line towards the east. This line will lead you to a very bright star, which is the Sirius, correct? So here you can see these are the 3 bright stars. If you imagine this line, it will lead to a very bright star, which is the Sirius, right? Now Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is another prominent constellation in the northern sky. It is visible during winter in the early part of the night. As Orion is always visible during the later part of the night. If in winters you look at the sky in the early part of the night, you will see Cassiopeia. It looks like distorted letter W or M. So it looks something like a distorted W. Correct? Now, did you know that a constellation does not only have 5 to 10 stars which are visible to us? It has a large number of stars. However, only the bright stars are visible to our naked eye in the constellation. All the stars which make up a constellation are not at same distance. They are just in the same line of sight in the sky. Correct? So this was all for this video. We learned all about stars and we saw the types of constellations like Ursa Major, Orion and Cassiopeia. So in the next video, we are going to learn all about the solar system. Till then, thank you and see you next time.